Welcome back. In this business finance lecture, we'll go over study problem 7-9 in page 247 from the 8th edition of our textbook. Here's a view of the problem. So let's first review the givens in the problem. This is a 15-year bond. It has a $1,000 face value. It pays 5.5% interest annually, so the compounding is annual, and the bond currently sells at $1,085. The required rate of return of the investor is 7%. So with these givens, we need to first start by calculating the expected rate of return, and then we need to figure the valuation of the bond for the investor, and then whether the investor should buy the bond or not. So let's directly start with the first part of the problem. So we will just write down the third row of our financial calculator as usual. So the bond is a 15-year bond. As I said earlier, it's a 5.5% interest bond. So 5.5% of $1,000 would give us $55. The face value is $1,000. The question is asking for the expected rate of return, so that's the question mark here. And finally, the present value would be simply the market price of the bond, in this case $1,085. Now again, recall that we need to enter negative sign in front of present value, whereas payment and future value will be both positive. So we can now confidently compute I over y, and in this case it will come out as 4.70%, and this is effectively the expected rate of return of this bond. And that completes the first part of the problem, part A. For part B, the value of the bond will be calculated using the same keys from our financial calculator. Number of compounding periods does not change. In this case, the required rate of return is 7%. The present value or the valuation of the bond is our question mark, and the payment and future value figures are not changing either. So we are computing now the present value of the bond, and it comes out as $863.38. Now let's sit back and try to figure if those numbers make sense. And then what will be the decision of the investor? Should he now buy the bond? Because the market price initially was above the face value, it's no wonder that our expected rate of return turned out to be below the coupon rate. So in this case, the expected rate of return is below the required rate of return of 7%, and as such, don't buy. Let's see if our intuition also works by just comparing the valuation of the bond, so that's our valuation, or the investor's valuation, with the market price. In our case, the market price is $1,085, so this is definitely less than the market price, the price, which is, as I said, $1,085. And again, by just comparing your valuation with the market price, again we come to the same conclusion. This bond is overpriced for this investor, so this investor would not be interested in buying this bond, so definitely do not purchase the bond. And that should complete the solution for study problem 7-9. I hope you enjoyed our solution.